everyone. Welcome to Our Minds podcast. I'm your host, Kaydan Belay, and joining us today, we have Ethan Belay.
How y'all doing, everybody?
Awesome. And thank you, Ethan, for coming on the show today. I do appreciate it.
Well, no problem.
I'm glad you could slide by.
You know what I'm saying?
He's a very busy man, so trying to get him on the show was like pulling teeth. You know all about pulling teeth, don't you?
Sarcasm. Oh, my God. Don't remind me. I just got 2 teeth removed, and it was the worst. I feel like I was getting jumped, and the dentist, that's what it felt like. But,
I wasn't there, but I know that the first time he ever got his tooth pulled, he kicked the dentist.
We don't have to tell nobody all about that.
We got it. We let the people know.
Okay, for the record, the needle he used for the numbing or freezing of the nerves was like this long, if you could see it on camera. It's crazy, so yeah. But good thing is, once you do it once,
so
you've
you
done it
say like
as
long as a ruler?
Huh?
As long as a ruler or a pencil?
It was just a huge needle. That's what it was. And it was going into my face. So you could imagine.
So yeah, he kicked the dentist.
Yeah.
I didn't even know his leg could get that high.
Well, hey. Me and the dentist cool now. We work that out. So
awesome. Well, that's good to hear. Well, thank you for joining us today. So, to start a podcast off today, Ethan, what I like to do is start off with a daily quote for motivation. So today's quote is going to be, if you focus on the past, you can't participate in the present to succeed in the future. And that's actually a quote by yours truly.
That's bars.
Bars?
Yeah.
How did that resonate with you?
I think it resonates with me because, like, especially if you have had like traumatic memories, I know sometimes you can always be caught in like that thought loop of like just thinking about situations that happened before. So it's like one of those things where like sometimes being focused on like past situations or like arguments with people or disagreements or things that didn't go right.
So anything in the past?
Excuse me. Yeah. I think that it's one of those things. It's like you're distracted. So you're like kind of like on autopilot when you're going through like day-to-day basis. So
that's a good way. I like that term, autopilot. How many of you find yourself on autopilot throughout the day where you're like just existing, where you like it's 5 hours goes by and you're like, wow, I'm either in the same mindset or I'm in the same headspace or just same, like this, just at a standstill, right?
Yeah. I think it's a big thing with like lack of self-awareness, because if you don't know how to be self-aware and you're just like, okay, well, what do I currently feel at the moment, then like it's easy to just let your mind kind of run rampant and just kind of go free. And I know with me, I do that a lot, where like I've actually just been working on like concentrating on what I'm doing in the moment. Like I find myself doing that in the shower too, where like I'll just be standing in the water.
It's almost like a meditation, or
sometimes, but for me, meditation is I work on concentrating on nothing. Like that's a lot of work, because even when I'm just meditating, I notice like just sitting there, I always end up thinking about something random. And even like during conversations, like something random, like, you know, and I know there's a lot of like meditation gurus and things like that online. So like I've been paying attention to more of like the content online. I've been paying attention to things that I actually want to concentrate on, versus like, you know, social media. It's like you're scrolling. It's just it's kind of like our mind being distracted anyway.
You're on autopilot because you're not even realizing how long you've been scrolling too.
Right. And then your brain is just going, your explore page or your feed or whatever the case, it's like you're just seeing all these random thoughts. And I feel like our brains move like that anyway, where like if we don't learn how to just control our concentration and our consciousness, I think that's like something that is huge. I just learned that online. I forgot his name. I'm going to have to look him up, but
yeah, definitely let me know, because I'm pretty sure the audience wants to know as well. So if you have any books or anything that you recommend, you're more than welcome to do that.
Yeah, if you're watching this on video, I'll put it in the description below, like the link to the video of like concentration and things like that. So, but yeah, I like your quote because it's extremely important, especially if you have goals. Like if you have goals, you have to constantly like, it has to be a balance, because yes, we're focused on the future, but you can't be too focused on the future either, because if you're not focused on like if I was focused on the 100% future, I wouldn't be focused on like right now, like, you know. So yeah.
That's a great way to put it. I never really thought about it. The one thing that you said that stuck with me a lot was autopilot. I really, really like that, because I'm able to put a vivid picture when you say autopilot.
Right.
Like it makes me, I'm able to paint the picture. But one other thing I did like that you said was self-awareness, which also brings to our topic today. So our lifestyle topic today is self-awareness. It's self-worth. Our daily topic for today is self-worth, and it kind of goes hand in hand with self-awareness. Would you say so?
Yeah. Anything when you're trying to improve yourself it definitely has to involve like self-awareness. It's like driving a car and not knowing something's wrong with it. Like if you're not aware, if you're not aware that something's not right, then you're not aware that you need to fix it or what needs to be fixed. So yeah, it kind of goes. Self-awareness, I feel like it's more of just like a broad term. I feel like it's a necessity for self-worth. I think there's a difference. Self-worth is something where it requires you to be extremely real with yourself. And I say that because like self-worth is not like, okay, well, I feel like I'm worth this, so then I'm worth this. It's like, no, self-worth is like saying, I deserve to be treated. I have a standard on how I'm going to be treated. Mm-hmm. So you can't just come into my life and disrespect me or go past my boundaries and just accepting it. Or self-worth is I can use a billion examples for that, but like self-worth is, I feel like, working towards
the value of yourself.
Right, exactly. So like I feel like I'm worth to feel good, mm-hmm. or so I'll work out. I've been slacking off this week, but I'm getting better.
It happens to the best of us.
Yeah.
Consistency is key, but if you find yourself that you like, oh, I slacked off, if you're aware that you slacked off, that's going to help you get back to being consistent again, which is going to also help you back to your self-worth.
Yeah.
And what self-worth means to me is honestly just valuing myself. So if I want to get up today and I want to just make myself look good or to my standards, I'm able to get up, brush my teeth, brush my hair, take care of my my body, and anything that pretty much provides value to me. Because we only get one body, right? So if we only have one body, actually understanding what it takes to be healthy and to love yourself. There's a lot of people who they neglect their self. And I feel like a lot of people need to actually learn to love their self and see how I provide value to myself before you try to figure out how you provide value to this world.
I like your answer versus my answer too, because I feel like, I feel like both of our answers kind of went hand in hand, but I feel like both of our answers were like two sides of the coin, right?
I mean, that's normally how a relationship goes,
Our
right?
Minds podcast.
Our
minds. But legit though, I feel like with the way that I put it, I'm like, well, self-worth is like setting the boundaries of like how you allow people to treat you, or how you allow people to sort of like interact with you. Your version of self-worth was like, it starts with yourself. Like, it's like value. Like, I value myself, and how much do I value myself? Like, not in an arrogant way, because there's some people that feel like they poop don't stink, and it's like, come on, I'll get real. Like, you need to sit down. But like, I wake up, I brush my teeth, I take I take a shower. I do my hair in the morning. I clean my face.
And you realize how much better you feel after doing that. Just honestly, starting with brushing your teeth, taking a shower, and getting dressed in the morning, especially if you're working from home. I know a lot of people are working from home right now, so it's easy to roll out of bed, work in your robe or nothing, or night clothes.
Sometimes that's valuing yourself.
And
I enjoy that.
Don't get me wrong.
I've worked with no pants working from home, and it's amazing. But I get what you're saying.
I'm always about being naked. If I could film this podcast naked, literally, visually, I would do it. But
wow. Pretty sure. I mean, we live in a new day and age. They probably would definitely want to see that, but we'll spare you guys.
Maybe on the extended version. I don't know.
We'll like that OnlyFans in there.
In my OnlyFans account.
But it's funny because you got people Googling like, they don't have that like OnlyFans. But no, like, I agree. So like, self-worth is one of those things, like, how much do you value yourself? Some people don't value themselves enough to say, hey, I'm going to go to the gym. I'm not going to judge them on that. There's nothing wrong with that. That's on them. But for me, I value myself enough to say I don't want to let myself go. I value myself enough to say, I like to eat good food, healthy food. Even for smoking, like, I used to smoke cigarettes like consistently. I value my lung health, which is my self to quit eventually, like,
just to pretty much be your better self, right?
Right. And then when you work on that, like you said, the world will sort of reflect that, because you see it like, and that's why I always tell people, like, especially like when I talk to family and stuff like that, when like they're going through things and they let me know everything that like they're dealing with, I always try to let them know, well, focus on building your self-worth. Like it doesn't, yourself first, because it doesn't matter how that dude's treating you. Like, don't worry about him. Get rid of him. Get rid of her.
Because if you know your value, it's easy. Because if someone's not matching your energy or your standards as far as yourself,
right. Well,
you know what I mean? Like,
well, hold on. You said something.
What?
So if they're not matching your energy, I've learned that people do match your energy, right? And we know this world is big on stereotypes, especially this country. I don't know about other countries. I'm excited to travel, but when you say people mirror your energy, if you walk up to a man or woman, they hopping out of a Escalade or a Lamborghini, they're dressed in a tux, like, people treat them different, right? Because they feel like, okay, this guy, you're 9 times out of 10, like, I need to come to this guy or girl correct. Like, you see it. Or you go to the gym, you see the person that's in shape, you could tell they serious about what they do. When you approach them in the gym, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to be wanting to waste their time, because you know they not playing that. So they're matching your energy. But if you see the person that's like an alcoholic, they gonna match your energy. They gonna be like, oh, this guy, I ain't even worried about him. Or the guy that wastes people's time, or the guy that is a slob, or people are actually gonna match your energy. And I also noticed that in dating too. That's why I always tell people, like, if you have things that you need to work on, you should not be working on finding a spouse at the moment, because you're gonna attract somebody.
That's a whole other topic, and trust me, I will definitely have to invite you back on the show for that, because we have a lot of relationship topics when it comes to that.
The show together. What do you mean? She's like, oh yeah, well, we have to invite you back on the show. It's like, bro, like, we building a show together. Oh, you're hilarious. But no, like, seriously though,
right
like,
now you're my co-host.
Right, I am your co-host.
Like, once you go on, and this is kind of like off topic, we can like cut this, but like, you're gonna go into your own ventures. You're not always gonna be on my show, so
right.
You know what I mean? I'm prepared for you to fly, is what I'm saying.
That's what's up.
I'm not gonna hold you down into that seat, because that seat's not gonna be there forever. So.
Right. But see, I value myself too much to do that. Now, I mean, I feel like one day this podcast is gonna be like the Joe Rogan of podcasts, which would be amazing. So I might be stuck in this seat, like, hey, I'm chilling. But
people might love you so much, they're like, you know what, you guys got to do this podcast together. But as of right now, you know, it is my podcast.
I feel that. I'm cool with that, you know. But as far as like value goes, like, you're gonna attract, people are definitely gonna mirror your energy, regardless if they think so or not. So even like on a because like I've seen where like wolves, for example, the hierarchy in wolves, like, the alpha gives off that alpha energy. The other wolves have no choice to respect that. Right. You know what I mean? So so when he walked past, they're gonna treat him as such. It's all based off of it's just all based off of the energy. So I like what you said as far as like people will reflect it, and it goes into even mindset too. Before
you walk out the door, you need to value yourself. So you need to know what you're not gonna deal with, what you are gonna deal with. You just need to paint the picture of what you want your day to be, and just move in that way. And I do believe that when you start moving the way you feel like is best for you, the people that need to be around you will either gravitate towards you, or they'll do the opposite, where they'll like scatter away from you. You know what I mean? So I just know a lot of people focus on other people. And to be honest, I just feel like self-worth is something that everyone needs to focus on. And during these times especially, just focus on yourself. Because if everyone focuses on their self and everyone has the mindset to be a better person, eventually everyone will be a better person. And you can, like you said, you can value people more as well.
You provide more value to the community.
Right. For those people out there that are struggling with self-worth, what are some suggestions that you could give them? How to help value their self?
Let your actions, I'm freestyling this, by the way, I feel like it's going to be really good. So let your actions mirror the best version of you versus your current reality. What I mean by that is,
are you spitting another quote? Is that what you're doing? There's bars over there for quotes?
Yeah, well, you know, put that on my tweet wall. I'm going to tweet that. So
no, I'm just going to use that for next episode's quote.
So what I mean by that is, like, once upon a time, I was out of shape. Just because I'm skinny doesn't mean skinny people ain't always healthy. So I was out of shape. I smoked. I was definitely broke. It kind of goes into manifesting, really. Like, it takes a lot to say, okay, well, I want my actions to mirror the best version of myself. So if the best version of yourself is running 3 miles a day, going to the gym, you eat a vegetarian diet, you want to dress in suits or dresses or whatever the case may be, but you haven't started yet, just start with something small. So if you know that a person that runs 3 miles a day, yeah, you're not going to go out your first day and run 3 miles a day. If you have to go outside and run down your driveway, run down the hallway and back, start there, do 10 push-ups.
And it is 2021, so with it being the beginning of the year, we have a lot of people that always make New Year resolutions and always find themselves not following them. And I feel like if everyone would just take this strategy where you're writing down what you feel like is self-worth, or how you feel like you want to look in 2021, or how you want to feel. Better yet, forget how you look, because look is just it's just a physical image. Let's go internal and see, like, how do I want to feel? Because I feel like you can look one way and feel another, right? But if you feel one way, you're going to look the way you
Eventually,
feel.
yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I feel
when I feel depressed, when I feel like if I'm like depressed and down and out, if I don't just decide to get up anyway, like sometimes I've been depressed to the point where like I understand depression, like, so it's like.
And then just to kind of hold you right there, you look great today, right? I don't know if I compliment you, but you look really good.
You too.
You look really sexy. Thank you. Handsome. Handsome's a good word. You look handsome. I love the blazer, the fit. Everything's just mwah.
Thank you.
Magnificent.
Appreciate it.
So with that being said,
you need to not be hitting on your podcast guests, though.
Well, you know.
Well, you know.
The extended hours, you know what I mean?
We got to get that Joe Rogan on this show. Like, you stupid.
But where I'm getting at is that you look really good, right? And one thing that a lot of people have an issue with these days is that you may look like you got everything together. You may act as if you got everything together, but you may not feel like you have everything together, right? So I feel like if everyone could just focus on their internal feelings and really just value yourself and how you want to feel versus how you want to look, I feel like that's just going to be something that's going to come natural, and you're going to actually really start feeling better.
More people need to give themselves more reality checks.
Yes, the reality check is great.
A lot of people are delusional. Like, I see it I didn't realize, I used to be one of those people. I didn't realize how delusional I was. And the moment you become when you become realistic of self, and you realistic of your environment and how you're living and how things are, when you realize, when you're like, okay, well, like, if you just be real, like, hurt your own feelings, not by saying, oh, you'll never be this, but saying, I'm currently, like, you know what, I'm really selfish, or I'm a narcissist, like, or I'm a slob.
Like going inside your own head and reevaluating, like,
realistically,
what is around me?
Broke.
Like, what do I look like today? How am I feeling today?
I'm broke. I look like a
how
bum.
am I talking? Because some people can be very verbally, like, negative, just super negative. And you're like, you always know that one person where they're like, everything they say is like negative. And it's like, really sit back and like listen to what you just said, or
that's
think
how it
about
was for
your
me
thoughts.
in porn. That's how I stopped watching porn so
And
much,
that's a
because
whole
I was
other
like,
topic
yo,
right there.
Right. I'm like, yo, like, but we're talking about like self-worth and like working on ourselves. So it's like for example, like pornography, like it's normalized to watch the amount of pornography that I was watching. But when I realized, like, yo, like, I just watched like a few hours of pornography, like, where did that time go? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I had to be
goes into
real.
like social media as well. Like, people you're mindlessly scrolling, you know what I mean, and don't even realize how long you're on there. And to go back to one of the things you were talking about before we got into that, one of the things that I like to do when we talk about internally feeling good and having self-worth internally is smiling. Like, I think there's times where, like, me and you, like, for example, let's like a backstory with Ethan. So he used to have really bad road rage. He doesn't have it anymore. He's actually doing really, really well. But he used to have really, really bad road rage. And there's been times where it's like he would like speed up, dodge the car. And then he has like this dinosaur head is what I want to call it. And the reason why you have like this dinosaur head is because like you're
a dinosaur. You're going to clown me on this podcast.
You have a dinosaur head because it's like you just have, like, you can feel the frustration in your in your forehead. Like it's just in your forehead. Like your forehead swells up so big.
It just,
you got this one. You got this one strong vein with this swollen forehead, and you're driving. Get your mind out together. And you're like driving, and it's like I'll look over you. You have like this like almost all this tension, and I'm like. Babe, relax your forehead, and then I'm like, smile, because if you really just smile, what?
Because you do the same thing with like your eyebrows.
Yes,
when you're like you're thinking hard, you just like cringe your face, and then I'm like, I'll do this. I'll have this thing where I like take my pinky. I got it from How High. Remember How High, where like he seen a girl and he was like he licked his fingers and like spread his he was like smoothing his eyebrows out. Like I wouldn't lick my fingers, but I'll like.
I appreciate that too.
Yeah, but like like you.
But just smiling,
it's
and when you smile, like, didn't that help? Like it's really hard to be angry and smile, to be honest. Like I know sometimes like life really gets you down, and no matter if it's something that you're dealing with physically, because I'm pretty sure we all have like that one thing about ourselves that we wish could be different, or something that's bothering us that we just wish we could change, that we may not be able to change right away or never. But just learning to accept that about yourself, if that's who you are, still embracing that and making that who you are, but making that the better version of who you are. You know what I mean? Let people see the light in whatever situation you are dealing with, and then just smile throughout the day. So like anytime you're just feeling a certain way, no matter if you're smiling, no matter if you're driving, working out, in an argument with your spouse or family member.
Don't smile in the middle of an argument. That's not a good idea. It's horrible relationship advice.
Well, I mean, okay, maybe not necessarily an argument, because they're going to think you're laughing and you're, smiling, and they're like, "What? Why are you so happy?" But honestly, we have good relationship advice, so
it's all
stay tuned. We can talk about that as well. But
even I think it's all self-awareness though.
Yes.
Because I mean, a smile alone can't just lift the mood. But I think where you're getting at is like being self-aware. So how do I feel in this present moment? And there's a guy, he owns a YouTube channel, I forgot his name. It's called like it's like selfactualize.org, but he's I think he's a psychologist, don't quote me on that, but he talks about like meditation, how to get over negative emotions, and he talks about a lot of topics, like how to deal with negative people or how to deal with sensitive people. Like he goes into like this whole like mental breakdown, and I like it a lot. But one thing he talks about is like how to get out of a bad mood. I don't remember the video, but this is what I remember of him, where he said, focus on paying attention to like the moment. Like, okay, cool, like how do I feel right now?
It all goes
like
into
what emotion do I feel? Where do I feel that emotion inside of my body? Like sometimes when you get sad, you get the knot in your throat, like that's a physical sensation. Like pay attention to those. Even for like, for example, like cigarette smokers, like me, I noticed that when I had a craving, like when he said that's what it was too. It was a different video where like how to quit smoking. It was something else somebody else said. They said, pay attention to the physical sensations that you feel the moment you decide, hey, I need to go smoke a cigarette. And she said that, this was a woman, she said, once you realize that those physical sensations, then you will know when your body is giving an urge, and you'll know, okay, cool, I'm just having an urge, and you brush it off. And that's literally how I quit smoking. And when I would want to smoke, I would get a knot in my throat, and my chest would feel like this weird, like kind of like empty feeling, like where I wanted to feel that warm feeling of the smoke. And like I noticed I noticed the physical sensations. So like I noticed that I would want to bite my nails too when I get urges. For him, he said that pay attention to like your mood. So pay attention to like when you have that knot in your throat. Pay attention to like how does your body feel? what emotion are you feeling? Pay attention to the now. And then
feeling.
Yeah, and he said overall, then compare it to your current reality. So like let's say if like for me, for example, sometimes I wake up in the morning, I'm like, dang, I'm in the same place. I'm trying to work on getting out. Like I want to be a wealthy person. I want to be an entrepreneur, travel, things like that. I want to control more of my time. So sometimes when I wake up, it can be a little depressing when you're constantly focusing on that grind, but you're not there yet. So I sometimes when I wake up and I'm in that negative headspace, I'll tell myself, like, why are you sad at this moment? Like, why are you depressed? It's like, well, you're technically not dealing with anything because, you know, nothing bad is going on right now. You're not where you want to be, but it's nothing new. It's not a new problem that you're being faced with. So you're okay. You're just working your way out of, you know, working your way towards your goals, getting yourself into a better situation. And I've learned that I actually, since I've been able to just be self-aware of what is my current mood, what am I paying attention to? Am I paying attention on the past, like your quote said? Mm-hmm. And then I've noticed that since then I've been a lot more positive. I laugh more, I'm more present, things like that. So yeah, I think that the biggest thing for all of the topics we talked about is like having self-worth is also being conscious of self, not in a egotistical way, but being aware, self-aware. So pay attention to self, and then when you pay attention to self, then you can start to control and guide of who you want to be, where you want to go, and then the people you invite in will then mirror that energy. Because the old people might not like you, by the way. Because when I moved to Arizona, I became a different person, and it was a good thing. Like, I became more confident. I wasn't tolerating people's BS, the manipulation, the domination that I was being put through. I was being like laughed at, like people laughing at your character and who you are and not taking you serious. Like, I've noticed that a lot of people tried to clown me, even family, like tried to clown me and say, oh dang, like he's not the same person. It's like my morals didn't change. I'm still the same person, but I'm just not tolerating that no more. And that actually felt really good. It was a little discouraging at first too, and I want people to kind of be aware of this. Like, well, it was also discouraging because that's why, like, the old people, they're not going to be used to the new you. They're accustomed to the old you. So when you change, some people are going to have a natural reaction of like, you acting different, like
you're evolving. You know what I mean? There's growth in the picture, because look at it like, if you were to stay the same person you were from 5 to 10, you'd be considered childish, right? So like now, if you stay the same from 10 to 15, and then from 15 to 20 to 30, the thing is life is all about growth, and that's what you're going to do. So you may not be the same tomorrow from today, and to be honest, that's why
I might not be getting high and drinking on the weekends with you no more, bro.
There's just certain things you're gonna realize you've been there, you did that, now you're ready. I like to look at it as a new chapter. There's a new chapter in your life that you're at this particular
it's a new
moment.
Chapter of you.
If there's definitely a new chapter of me, and there's only a few friends that I can count on that no matter what chapter I'm in my life, they're always in a new chapter, which somehow is the same chapter that I'm in. And those type of friends I always keep close to me, but you may not have those. You know what I mean?
They also respect your journey too.
Exactly. And we may still be on two different journeys as well. And it's like, but it's a new form of growth. I like the fact that I can always call this girl up, and we can have a lot of the same beliefs, and we can also have different beliefs as well. And we're always on a new path or new journey where we're always moving forward. Right. You know what I mean? Like, she's never stagnant, nor is she ever behind.
Talking about Brittany.
I'm definitely talking about Brittany.
Yeah.
I love you, Brittany.
I felt like you guys were too close for you to just be like this girl. I was like, no, you gotta shout Brittany out. Like,
I do.
But yeah, and that's a perfect example. And I've had people to where it's like,
I call her Britty Pants.
Yeah, and I've also had people that have, and again, it can happen. I advise not to take it personal, unless it's disrespectful and factually, like immoral. But for some relationships, like me, for example, like I've had people, like I'm on a different chapter. They decided to go down a different chapter, but then it's like
okay as well.
They went back and like tried to tarnish my image because their values changed. It's like, oh well. Like, I get that you're living I respect the decisions you decide to make in the chapter and the direction that you wanted to go. That's just not for me. It's okay. And, I'm not going to look down on you for it. But also when you make, for example, like, I'm never going to judge anybody else, because I understand that their chapter of who they are is that when you change the chapter, like when you change who you are, you also change a lot of morals. You change a lot of standards. Like for a vegan, a standard is not to be eating meat or any animal product. You know what I mean? That standard is going to be different from somebody who loves barbecues, pork, and etc.
And one thing I like that you said was talking about your. I don't necessarily know if you said the term lifestyle when you said this, but you just said that. You said that the different. Mess me up. The different.
We're making new words. The word of the day.
It's different. But different is what I was trying to say.
I'm different.
And but one thing I like about this podcast and the people that I want to bring on this podcast, lifestyle is pretty much the same. It's the same experience that you have with a group of people, pretty much, is what a lifestyle pretty much is. And there are so many lifestyles. That was
a horrible example of lifestyle.
No, that is lifestyle. That's what it said.
Lifestyle is just a way of life.
Well, okay, it's a way of life with a group of people that achieve same experience.
Because you could have a lifestyle. I could decide to be
experiences in the lifestyle.
I could decide to live off the land with me by myself.
Which is an experience.
By myself. You said with a group of people.
Okay, you're right. It doesn't. Okay, that's more so culture with a group of people. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Okay, so a lifestyle is a way of life through experiences.
I guess.
That's what it is. So what I'm getting at is that what I like about this show and what I was inspired to create this podcast is because I want everyone to be able to see the different perspectives of lifestyle. So you may live a different lifestyle than me. I may live a different lifestyle from you. We may live a different lifestyle from y'all. And
for sure, because some of y'all are weird out there.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Like I'm joking.
It's just but I mean, all jokes aside,
not joking.
There's nothing wrong with that. Like there's no right or wrong as far as the lifestyle that you're living. You know what I mean? There are some morals that are right and wrong. I believe
things are morally wrong and factually wrong.
Yes,
but
morally,
even morals are subjective, though.
That is true. But that's a whole other subject as well. But like when I mean like morally, I mean like robbing people and like
in some places it's morally okay. That's what I'm saying.
But
like
what I'm getting at is that like okay, you're right.
Just don't come over here with that mess.
You're
That'd
right.
be a
But
bad
what I'm
day
getting
for
at
you.
is that harm. Let's just not cause harm to people. You know what I mean? And but when it comes to a lifestyle, if it's not really causing harm to you, why is everyone so
judgmental? It's because
judgmental, intense about a situation when there's different views and it's okay. It may not work for you, but it may work for someone else. And that's more so what I like to do. I like to just keep there's different perspectives. You know what I mean? Just be open to different perspectives, because the way I think may not be the way you think, but it doesn't necessarily make it wrong. There's multiple ways, and I have this saying where there's always a greater extra strategy, meaning that you can do a lot of things more than once or more than one way. You know what I mean? So, but thank you for coming on today. That is all we have for
Thank you for coming on today. Where did I come from? Like, I was here before the podcast, bro. So you get somebody a podcast, they act brand new.
You let me be great, bro?
I'm letting you be great.
Because what if you weren't Ethan? I got to be prepared to say this stuff. You might just go sit in the bedroom after we're done, but that don't mean... Speaking of, we are in the bedroom, so you might just pull out the bed, but who cares? But we'll cut all that out. But anyway, I do appreciate...
We're going to leave it in there.
I do appreciate you coming on the podcast today. As far as self-awareness, guys, this is all we have for today. I hope I was able to help someone. I hope you're able to... I hope this resonates with you in some way. Leave comments. Definitely subscribe. My book is available. The link will be available for purchase. It's called Think, Action, Believe. We do have merch and stuff available as well. And you can also check out our website at www.beleaudiovision.com.
For sure.
Ethan, do you have any remarks?
No, I'm going to let these people be great.
Throw stuff in there in case you want to use it. You can purchase that at snobbotic.com.
See, this is what we're gonna have to deal with here. Be great. Yes. See you later.
Bro, cue the outro on my show, bro.
Listen, I'm the co-host. You open it, I close it.
But anyways, guys, thank you for joining us today. We do have an extended version on YouTube, so that will be up shortly. Definitely check that out at K-Don Belay. K-Don Belay signing out.